Thank you for being here. I'm going to just click on that so I can see the comments. Let us know where you're watching from if you wish to, just stick it in the comments. Once we get the tech stuff out of the way, we are going to do a little heart-to-heart connect and bring in the Lemurian Plasma Water Dragons and any other dragons that wish to make an appearance. I'm trying to think if I can share it anywhere. Did you manage to share it, Kev?
No, I'm not getting any buttons at all. All I've got is us, and that's all I can say. There's no. I
Next to the
press things, and
comments, there's an arrow.
I don't see any comments. Literally seen. Oh, I see one now. I shared it in your group for you. Perfect.
Can you save it on my page too? I don't know how to do that on me. Live now.
Did you say can I share it to your page?
Yeah. I'm trying to do it on my phone, but I can't find nothing.
Yeah, it's all changed on the phone. There's no share buttons anywhere. There's just the emojis of a thumbs up and a love heart, and that's it. Doesn't show anything else.
There's not an arrow left of the. If you were going to comment on it,
I don't have anywhere to comment either. I saw a comment pop up, but as nothing. Oh, there's one. Maybe I can comment
because
there.
I can see it on my phone.
That's because it's your
No,
page,
someone
isn't
else
it?
shared it, so.
Oh well. Oh well.
Oh well, we can share it afterwards. I'll get
Yes.
on. I can go on to the share it afterwards. People should be coming to your page to see it. We'll share it in the groups once it's done.
I did just try and share it to you, Alessandra, and it says no results for your name. It came up with another Alessandra and not yours.
Oh yeah, there's lots. And I have a few accounts that I'm locked out of. So
all right. Thank you everybody for joining us. Oops, we normally start last week's love with a little heart-to-heart connect, so we are going to do that now. So if you would like to close your eyes, if you're in a suitable place to do that, and just bring your awareness to your heart space in the center of the chest, and feeling your heart energy spreading out to every cell of your body. You want to bring a little smile to your face and just imagine that every cell of your body is smiling. And extending the heart awareness out now, down into the ground to the heart of the earth. Feeling that beautiful heart-to-heart connection between our hearts and the heart of Gaia, Mother Earth. And feeling her beautiful energy coming up into your feet and your legs and up your spine, into your heart, into all of your energy centers, into all of your organs, and into every cell. And extending the heart awareness out to the heart of the sun. And feeling gratitude for the light and the life that we receive from the earth and from the sun. And gratitude for all of the solar codes and the extra photons of light that we're currently receiving by the sun. And extending the heart awareness out to the cosmic heart. Source intelligence, source creator. And feeling all of our hearts as one, all of us watching the live, or if you're watching on the replay, feeling all of our hearts in the one unified field of love. And just inviting in the Lemurian Plasma Water Dragons. And just being aware of any message that you might receive from these dragons, being aware of any sensations in your body, particularly your heart, your solar plexus, heart to throat, and the Ananda Kanda center between your heart and your solar plexus, round about your diaphragm. And just handing over to you first, Alessandra, if there's anything you would like to add, and then over to you after that, Kevin.
I see a Lemurian dragon, Lemurian water plasma dragon that is very long, and it has some fish aspects to it. Very, very long and crystalline and translucent. And it's just so gorgeous. And it was swimming around me, like creating ripples. And it was swimming around all of us. And it was so magical, like a new level of delicacy and sweetness and high vibration, as though it were holding some codes of Lemuria that you are bringing in that haven't been back in thousands of years, probably since the origin point of the Lemuria that you are bringing for us, which feels very high vibe.
Beautiful. It's interesting because the crystal that Alessandra gifted me before I went to Venice, which has got lots and lots of water, I was like, oh, it's a beautiful dragon. And then that's the dragon I saw again, a bit like Alessandra saying, a very, very, very long dragon that was like skirting around all of the beautiful waterways of Venice. And I connected to a dragon. I didn't understand what type of dragon it was, but it was definitely a water dragon from somewhere. And yeah, there's lots more about that anyway. But yeah, I'm feeling that energy too.
Beautiful. Thank you both. Okay, so just bringing our awareness back to our heart space, feeling that heart energy guiding our words, guiding our actions, and feeling your presence where you're seated or lying, and opening your eyes if they're closed whenever you're ready. Oof. Okay, just taking all that in. Yeah, the Lemurian plasma, I added the word plasma, I was just calling them water dragons, and I connected with them yesterday in meditation and got that their frequency is it's watery, and they hold all the water codes, and they're definitely linked to the waters of the earth. And I feel they're holding the coding for all the life in the waters as well that would have been here at the time of Lemuria, but also now. And they also feel quite cosmic too. It doesn't feel like their substance is water, but it's watery, and their substance feels quite crystalline and plasma. And then they do have this flow to them, this really beautiful flow. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to share?
Well, you created a big opening. You are bringing in these energies. We're here working together. And so I can feel really strongly. It had been a while since I had to move my hands with the energies. And they were so strong and visceral. So I still feel it because Kevin You were Venice, water, you were just there. Um, and so they're very physically around us. Like I could see them. So I was taught by my channeling mentor to actually channel with my eyes open. And I do a mix. But when you were bringing them in, I had to have my eyes open to see the dragons around. Um, and it was a message that they're more viscerally here, which is something which you're saying about it's water, but it's more. I know the Arcturians talk a lot. It's been a long time that my Arcturian mentor, it's been more than 20 years, that has been talking about the Arcturians through him. Liquid light, liquid light. But I think now we're calling it plasma. And so I just feel it viscerally around. And it's one of these very big epic downloads that you don't forget. Like this is real big what we are doing and you're leading, facilitating, and it's here to stay. And what I'm noticing is the space that I'm given while I'm here and I feel held by the energy. I have at least this much space. You can't see my hands, but they're going further out. I have space in the ring that it's spinning around me and interconnecting with other things. So it just feels very real.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for that. Um, I'll speak a bit more about the gathering later. Kev, was there anything else that you wanted to add before we move on to and if just to say as well, if anyone watching was feeling anything with these dragons, do feel free to share in the comments. Over to you, Kev.
I was just going to say that when I was in Venice and I connected to this water plasma dragon, long dragon, I didn't know it was Lemurian or anything. It was basically saying it had been hiding, or it had been hidden rather than hiding, because it doesn't need to hide, but it was hidden. And there it's like there's a return in general for dragons in a big way at the moment. And yeah, so that's what I had, was that they're returning to a frequency that we can connect with them more easily. They were hidden. They're always been there, but they were hidden at a frequency we couldn't see them and couldn't connect to them. And they're coming back stronger. That's the message I got.
And interesting, you mentioned you mentioned Venice there, and I am wondering if there is a link between the work that you did over there and the Lemurian water dragons.
There could be. I mean, it's I've only recently come back from Venice, so I'm still amalgamating and pulling in what I felt and saw. I mean, what I felt and saw was that Venice has two faces. There's the under the water face, which we're not sure really what's there, and I sense this water dragon. And then there's the on top face, which is very looks very beautiful, but it's a bit old, worn out. But I saw the dragons and I saw the lions. And if you go into the main square, there's a huge big lion on a big pedestal, and next to it is a dragon being slayed by a knight. I don't know which one, but we can assume. And everywhere you go, the lions are there in your face, and everywhere you go, you'll see a small dragon carved into a wall, and it's all hidden. And I get the impression that at some point Venice and the dragons went into some sort of hiding and had a face that no, we're all about this. We're following the Romans or whatever it was. And it's I think it's changing. And yeah, I haven't tapped into it enough to understand it, but there's definitely a movement. And of course, we've also got the fact that the dragons are on the ley lines, and the lions are coming in. So there's a lot of stuff going on, which I'm sure other people have unpacked more than I have so far. Any thoughts?
I was only unmuted to say you look like you're about to speak, Alessandra, are you? Or shall I?
Uh, everything you're saying, Kevin, makes sense because I look for the clues in a similar way. I'm getting a sense that Venice, I never thought of this and I never tapped into this, so this feels kind of new to me as I'm tapping in. I guess that Venice, from what I'm seeing now, actually was a water place, town, city before. And so when Venice, as we know it now in current history timeline, was rebuilt, it was a water thing before. Water, water, water. And so even if it was something in the Roman times, it would have been consciously in mainstream Roman times acknowledged as a mythological center or a real center for Triton, dolphins, sea monsters, sea beings, and even dragons. And then I'm actually I'm flooded with a vision of seahorse, no, dragon, no, a horse that then has a dragon water tail, because I'm seeing images of a temple in Palestrina, here in Italy, which is a half an hour away from me. It's temple that looks like the Mesopotamian. It's using a whole mountain to be part to create it, and so it's an earth temple. And so I'm actually thinking what you're saying, that there was some outwardly mainstream acknowledged presence of dragons and water dragons, and then when it was rebuilt or revamped as a political place, and then it had the name Venice, that then it was acting clean, like, oh, we're no longer witches, no, 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 and we're no longer dragons. But that, just like the Medusa image, it still manages to stay. So even though it was being suppressed, it's still there. So I'm really sensing that. And then I do think that there is a connection with the dragons that you're sensing, and then Lemurian dragon frequency. There is a link, connection, like cousins. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. What would you like to share about the retreat and about the work that you did there? And I'm curious as well, because energy work, like, how different is it doing energy work in a place where there's so much water? And I often bring in the water energy anyway when I'm doing work on the land. Um, yeah, that just struck me when you were speaking about it, just how much water there is there.
Well, we started in Nemi, which is just outside Rome, and that's got two big waters. But when you do an overview of it, it's like a lemniscus, the infinity sign between the two of them. So there's a huge power there. It's a volcano that currently is asleep for a little while. Well, it's not long in volcano terms, but a while in human terms. So there's a huge amount of energy there, and it's water energy. We did some stuff in Rome, and we went to a few temples. And one of the temples we went to, we were there last year, and there was a a a dragon come sort of snake come sort of energy goddess there, which that's the one which we did some amazing light language and channeling held by Alessandra and a few others in, and it was beautiful. We were there again this year, and there is like an underwater movement. You can just about see it, but you can feel it deeper down. There's definitely water there that's flowing. So we did some work with that, and I found that because the water's there, then it sort of opens up. There's a flow to water, isn't it? It's not stagnant, it's moving invariably. Obviously there are pools where it's stagnant, but so the fact that it is moving, and it's moving in a sort of a flowing way, it automatically makes you think of like a snake going across the water, and it just, for me, it makes me move that way. So I end up doing this sort of movement, and for me, light language isn't something that comes naturally, but when I'm there, I'm like, and it's like, wow, where's that coming from? And it's a beautiful energy to tap into. Um, Maybe Alessandra wants to say a bit more about that particular temple.
So there's two energetic movements with water in this temple, and it's right here. Ostia, the Ostia temple complex, Ostia temple complex, known, it's, I believe that the Etruscans founded it, but it might have been something before. They work with water nymphs. And so there was two movements. There's the movement that Kevin is saying that was really physically pulls us like this. There's this big space. I don't know if you can see how it is, but there's this big space. So while there is this energy of the water snake, water dragon, there's also this energy. And so someone had a vision in this temple and told me that they saw very clearly that the water, which I think is because this is a port town, an ancient Roman port town, which the Etruscan had before. So it was cupped by the Tiber River that runs through Rome, the Tiber River, and the ocean mouth. I want to call it the ocean mouth. But at the moment, it's the ocean is, let's say, a few meters away. But before, the tide was coming in. And so the temple was built to pick the water of the tide. So you have several movements happening at once. You have the movement of the literal physical sea, the physical sea that's having that. And then it would, the whole floor would have that much water with it. And then on either side, there was pools that would hold the water. So we're here and the water is flushing in this much, a pool on either side, and then this energy coming, and it's a pathway. So it's a lot of stuff. And it might be one of the only temples that I know of that works with the energies above as they are occurring below. Because below, they happen like that in a water energetic way and in a water physical way. Because I keep seeing underground rivers, underground aquifers. So that's really, it was just really powerful. Again, things are getting more physical and more visceral with how we are interacting with high frequency energies that are both earthy, like the earth dragons are coming up, and the galactic, and they're merging. I also want to mention, maybe because it just needs to come in, that I was just now on a one-on-one mentorship session, and she knows who she is. She's in Chile. And it was fascinating because, Kevin, what you're saying with the dragons are waking up. There's something wrong. She's in Chile, and we just had a powerful vision, which was the Chile dragons were not exactly waking up, but yes, but they had been suppressed. And there was a soul retrieval of dragons. So you had galactic dragon energy coming in, and they happened to be baby dragons, and they were merging. And at first, it would looked weird because you had a split energy. You had the Earth, the Chile Earth dragons, and then you had these galactic dragons, and they were both babies. And then they came in and they merged. And I thought, well, what? The galactic ones are better than the Earth ones? And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. We're doing soul retrieval. This goes for the dragons, this goes for the Earth, and this goes for us. These are missing pieces that wherever they are in the multiverse, we just felt a split from. And now there is this wholeness coming together and this bigger tapestry. So I was thinking about dragons evolving or returning to original state, but getting bigger and better than even before. And I'm feeling this whole thing about elementals, because there's been a genocide of us as people, native indigenous people, dragons, and fairies. And so this concept of, oh, soul retrieval is not just a human term, it's not just for humans, it's this splintering that now is becoming much more multidimensional. I'm getting a hint that there's something that your Lemurian water dragons are doing, obviously, along these lines of bringing it all together and making it better. Like what is it? The pieces together are larger, larger than the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, and what interests me about that, like the galactic or the cosmic stuff and the Earth stuff coming together, when I set the date for the 21st of October, when I set dates for gatherings, my eyes just go to the calendar and they go on one date. And if that's where they stay, I'll check in. Is that the date? And I kind of wanted to do it sooner than that, but I got the 21st of October. And so did all the stuff for the gathering, and then found out that on the 21st of October, there is a superior conjunction with the 3I Atlas interstellar body that may or may not be a comet that a lot of people are talking about at the moment. So this is an interstellar body that is coming through our solar system at quite some speed as well. And on the 21st of October, there is a new moon. Not True Sky is in Libra, which is about kind of new starts, rejuvenation. And at that time, a particular time on the 21st, and it's only going to be brief because it's moving so quickly, but the sun, 3I Atlas is going to be behind the sun. So it'll be there, then there'll be the sun, and then the moon, and then Earth. And it's all going to be in conjunction. It's all going to be in a line. And another comet that is presently, or a comet that is presently coming into our solar system is C25R2 in brackets Swan. And that on the 21st is going to be at its closest position to the Earth. So these interstellar bodies, they carry a lot of plasma with them, and water codes, they have ice. And so they are currently bringing in water codes from beyond our solar system, from way beyond our solar system. And I feel at the moment, and maybe particularly on the 21st, when it goes behind the sun, so the comet or interstellar object, it doesn't have a tail like a comet, so it might not be a comet. When that goes behind the sun, to us here on Earth, it's as though that water and the sun have merged. Technically, it's not, it's going behind, but I would assume that there would be some merging of codes at that point as well. The sun to me represents the solar plexus, and water the heart, and this is what we're working on in the gathering. It's like the Ananda Kanda center, which is the one in between the heart and the solar plexus, that we're going to be working on. So it's about taking actions from love, taking actions from that framework of the heart. So yeah, I find that interesting that you were saying that about the galactic stuff merging with the Earth stuff, especially the water codes, because of these interstellar objects, beings. And if anyone, with some friends recently, we connected with this 3I Atlas being. So much emerald green, so much heart stuff. It was really, really beautiful and strong. And for those that I've heard have been connecting with it, just so much love. It seems to be very, very much about the heart. And very interesting that it's going to be at its closest point to Earth on the 19th of December, so just before solstice as well. So it feels quite key. It feels like it's carrying important keys and codes and frequencies into our solar system at the moment. Alessandra, did you want to come in there?
I just can't stop moving, and I haven't done this in a long time. I keep saying this to my clients, my friends. I channel it for myself lately. There's two things that are happening. There is the darkness that is kicking up dust. And you can see it in America, and you can see the division, politics, transgender anger of people. Like it almost feels like it's COVID 2.0 masked in a different way, with people getting extremely angry and divided. So we're in a time that feels very extreme and split. But it's fascinating because there's also this massive influx of new ingredients that are coming in, which you are explaining on a galactic scale, cosmic scale, astronomical scale too. And it feels like you're explaining in different language things that I'm feeling, things that, for example, if we get down to our body and you're a nurse and you know and you work with this, it has been hard for a lot of us to be in our bodies because these extreme frequencies are coming in, some of which are phenomenally good. So for example, for me, like for example today, because I might have to leave a little bit earlier, there is an issue with fainting, dizziness, electrolytes, which electrolytes literally are the liquid crystal sodium that holds the electrical charge for our cells and the electrical charge of their neural impulses. But then I have a friend who's a super healer, and her blood sugars are low, and she's had blood sugar big issues since she was a child. But now it's we're trying to figure out what is happening to our bodies, and I want to reassure all of us, like, we won't figure it out. But meaning there's these massive outside influences. So as you are talking, I feel happy and blessed and excited because there's these new ingredients, and but I feel like, oh, they're coming now. So there's some big priestess part of me that recognizes that, oh, we're playing with that now. And you mentioned Cygnus, and I don't think, correct me, it's not the Cygnus constellation, it's a Cygnus.
It's a comet that's been called the Swan.
Oh, the Swan, yes, the Swan.
And it's also called Swan, yeah.
But you know how we get symbols from everything, and the Swan, water bird, the Swan is such a recurring message for me, for these, for high priestess, water priestess, but now we're working with dragons. Also, the Swan actually can't even look like a dragon in the way I draw them when I draw them. So I just want to witness with you and be so happy, because here I'm like, oh, these frequencies are coming in now. Whoa, this is weirdly, it's a good sign. It feels earlier. It's funny because a lot of us who have been here a while, right, on the earth at this time, are thinking we are behind the times. We need more starseeds awakened. We need more of us doing this stuff. And with COVID, and now COVID 2.0, whatever, however we want to call it, and the apocalypse, which is the ending and the beginning, there are people waking up there, but there still is sort of maybe a feeling for a lot of us of time, like, are we working too hard? Because a lot of us feel like we're shouldering more. But this energy that's coming in, it's weird. It's like there's been a jump or a leap, and it's earlier. And this is a really good harbinger, if that's the right word, of good signs to come. Also, you're talking about December 19th. Your event now is 21st of October, right? So we're really playing with the end of this year, and it almost feels like somehow a lot of us have been doing good, better than what we realize, in helping the world, because it feels like this extremely special gift of energy that some of us have been waiting lifetimes to work with again is coming, and it's coming astrologically before the end of the year. You're bringing it in, it's before the end of the year. Kevin was in Venice, lots of water. Me and Kevin were together here with a few of the secret retreat people, and we were working at the Vatican. And so it just feels like we were getting things, and it feels like we're all working together, right? Like domino effect, if that's right, or pass on the baton. So I'm just here sitting, and I'm getting another hit right now. There was something about Atlantis and the positive high priests and priestesses talk about water priestesses Atlantis and swans, that swan image. So I'm just like, help is coming. Really, really soft forgiveness, compassion frequency is coming. I don't know if Kevin, you used the word amalgamation. So that's also coming. So I also feel abstract energy, just the be in the water, be in the bath, give yourself a salt bath, and interact with these frequencies in any way that we can. Softness way. The end. Sorry. Is my chair squeaky?
It is a little squeaky. My chair makes strange noises as well. Yeah, Kevin, I'll hand over to you if there's anything you want to add to that. I loved all that you were saying there, Alessandra. There was a lot in that. Yeah, I'll come back to that, Kevin.
There was a lot in it. It all made sense, and I think you're right that Alessandra talked about passing on the baton, and there's many groups out there that I've seen and I'm connecting with that are working not just with dragon energy but with all the energies, and everyone seems to be working on the planet and raising not just the frequency of humanity, which I think has gone past the tipping point of 51% from what other people are saying. I'm not tapped into that, but I've heard that, so that's why it's going faster, and maybe that's why they're bringing things earlier to us, because the galactics and the rest of it are going, oh, they've done really well, look at them guys. The point is that there are other people with many batons out there, and many of them are working with water. When I was in Peru last year, I got called to go to Lake Titicaca, which is the highest navigable lake on the planet, with huge amounts. So it's high up energy up there, and that was a bit like, it's like the Venice of Peru. It's not quite so architecturally. It's that they've got reeds they float on, but they live on the reeds, and that had the same water energy. And if you look at our planet from one side, it's just a blue marble. It's just water. There's more water than there's earth. So if these amazing things that are coming through space and are bringing us plasma and Westfit, and other people are telling me that we're becoming more plasma and less water, because we are mainly water, and that's transmuting into plasma. Maybe that's what they're bringing to us. Maybe there's a whole DNA change. There's only certain amounts of our chain that are open. Maybe if we become plasma, it opens all of them, and we become the super beings that we originally were. So yeah, there's just lots of stuff happening, and it's exciting, and it feels like it is coming closer rather than like it's something in the mystical distance. Definitely, I'm feeling that. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it does feel, often we feel like we're not doing enough, like you were saying, Alessandra, like, come on. But I feel we have done so much, and it feels like we're late, but it also feels like we're very early too. And it feels this 3i, and just the name of it, like it's obviously been named by the Atlas, which stands for something that I can't remember, but it's about looking at you know bodies out there in the cosmos. And 3i, presumably they have methodology to the way that they number things. But I just think it's funny, the 3i, because that's like I and I and I. It's the Trinity. So I think that name is quite significant. Um, Maybe also linked to 3 strands of DNA. Um, but it does feel like this coming in, it is significant. And it may not be something that we see immediately. It might be like 2012, that everyone thought, oh, nothing really very much happened. But there was actually quite a big awakening, but it was kind of a bit more below the surface. And I know quite a few people who 2012 was a significant year for them in their awakening. And it feels like this is the start of another wave, another significant wave that we may not see immediately. It might not be immediately apparent to us, but looking back, we'll kind of go, yeah, actually, that was significant. Alessandra, did you want to come in? Oh, actually, before I hand over to you, I just wanted to acknowledge one of the comments speaking about the water dragons, um, saying they're coming in with a high frequency. They feel so warm and wet in my hands, and they give healing to anyone in need of it as well. Yeah, I concur with that. Um, and also saying mountain and crystal stones get a much higher activations, upgrades like clouds around them. Yeah, and everything is being, it's not just us on the planet that are being upgraded at the moment. Everything is the animals, the birds, the crystals, the water, the earth, everything. Um, yeah, Alessandra, have you got stuff to add?
I was feeling messages, and it's funny because it feels early. The meaning we're in October, but I'm feeling December energy because when I sort of I just I'm feeling messages of amazing things are happening. So I think I'll do a little crystal bowl thing right now. Um, Let me know if the sound's okay. It feels like together, led by Denise. So Denise having a very, very special foresight, forerunner energy, and us working together. And all of the people and groups that are doing phenomenal things. There's lots and lots and lots of people doing so much, and we are really weaving a tapestry together. It feels like it's okay now to think of a better future, to believe in a better future, and to know that it's actually coming. What if so many of us thought that the new earth was later? And what if people like Diana Cooper and others, and Bashar and Wendy Kennedy that I follow sometimes, they have been, and Lee Harris, have been giving great predictions of the time period that we are right now, whether it's 5-year shift or something along those lines. But what if there is some sort of anticipatory, we're actually ahead? And that's what I want us to tap in. And maybe that's a message only for some of us if it resonates. If we feel excited with what we're talking about and the energy that is coming in, then maybe we are the ones holding that reality ahead for other ones to catch up. Because it's funny, I feel a timestamp. Denise, you mentioned, I think it was December 19, and all of a sudden I feel like today is December 19. I'm feeling these energies, and we're right at the cliff. If we're at December 19, we're at the cliff of 2025. And then I haven't even thought of the numbers 2026. And so I'm feeling for us to grab. Right now I'm having the Swan Maiden, the Swan Dragon that is coming to help us, assist us in feeling big, tall, and proud. Isn't a swan one of the most regal of the birds? I mean, it is proud, it is gorgeous, it is used over and over again as a symbol. So, and I do think that there are animals like cats and weirdly swans and lizards that overlap with dragon energy. It's like the dragons left themselves behind in a shamanic dismemberment. So this swan energy and these comets and these physical objects in the astronomy that you're talking about, some gift is here for us now, and it's a future, a very, very near future that we are all going to be, we are extremely surprised about, but we are all ready. I'm getting shivers, and I'm thinking, because I'm feeling this, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for this. Oh my goodness, I'm here for this. I trained, I know what to do. I would also like to add that for a lot of us in our personal lives, massive changes are happening, meaning we're this close to being so much happier, so much more grounded, and very supported in a visceral, physical way by friends, by new friends. So there is something that I'm not allowed to see because we have to have the element of surprise that is like, oh, it's here now. This is the energy I came to work with, but I also get to benefit from. Inamatay kalayson enanaha. Pupupupule ia anaha nanahikene I no ono no nakai. Natai nanai. So I'm seeing an image of the migration path of swans and also geese. Geese were very, very important symbols with the priestesses in ancient Greece and early Greece, and also swans. And they are connected to Medusa also. So the migratory path I'm seeing, and that's what it feels like, these comets or these star energies that are moving are literally swans migrating, a flock, family, togetherness, community, soul family, moving from one space to another, just like that soul retrieval of the dragons that I'm talking about. So be ready. Our psychology, believe it or not, really needs help to actually receive positive news, positive changes in our life. There are a lot of my friends, myself, and other people that actually find it hard to believe in the positive changes, thinking, oh, this is too good to be true. It can't last for long. It won't stay. So we are conditioned almost to withstand high pressure of pain and trauma. But this transmission is to be conditioned and open to receive the positive changes and to allow them to amplify. Positive change amplification.
Yeah, wow, thank you. I was getting a very clear vision of the Lemurian Plasma Water Dragons then, but they were also flying. And before you said about the swans and the geese, I saw them flying in. And I'm just feeling a little language of light to add to the frequency that you've just brought in there. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yet I nema kulekia tundera lekid ut orent est akilekia totoren lekia nebe et kulekia usted Irnia to tornekiet to kusht hila kiet ondora lekiana taka. And just connecting with the energy of water and structured water, crystalline structured water and plasma, and just feeling our bodies bathed in that energy. And we can breathe it in, so we're bathing on the inside as well as on the outside. And just handing over to you, Kevin, if there's anything that you would like to add at this stage.
I'm just hearing that what you do now affects the past and the future, and that we sometimes limit ourselves thinking that we do now only affects the future, but it affects the past. And maybe that's because we've been so present, and so many of us have been so present, we've affected the past as well as the future, and that's why things are coming quicker. And I was reading an article recently, even science is saying that time is not linear. Time is like this. It comes around, it laps back on itself, and it's a bit like the flow of water. If you imagine that a piece of water that's flowing past your house is going into the ocean, where's it going? It could be anywhere. That one little drop of water could be anywhere in the ocean. And I think that's the same with time and our interactions and what we do. It doesn't just affect linear the future, it affects everything and everyone. So if we're all doing, like Alessandra saying, imagining and calling forward the best version of ourselves, the best version of the planet, of the universe, rather than taking up what we're seeing out around the world. And we don't take that story and go, no, that's just noise. The future is bright and beautiful. There's a new earth. There's everything is going to be the best it can be. Then we can call that forward. Why does it have to be in a millennia time? Why is it not in a couple of years' time? If we're all thinking that, rather than thinking the worst and we think the best, we can pull that forward. We know that our thoughts are energy, and that this universe is created by our thoughts and the thoughts of the one, and we are part of the one, like a drop is a part of the ocean. So I think if we all start thinking positively rather than the noise, then yeah, why not bring it forward? Why not by Christmas?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Denise, I need to leave in a few moments,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know how you want to weave that.
Yeah, we gotcha. I just wanted to add, I'm sure everyone knows this anyway, but this year is a 9, next year is a 10, so it is new cycle starting next year. 2026 adds up to 10. And also, I think you alluded to this as well, Alessandra, about Lemuria and the codes coming in. It's like those codes are coming in to be woven with the codes that are here now. So it's not going to be precisely as it was in Lemuria, but those codes are still relevant, and they're all part of the layering, part of the mix. Okay. Well, thank you everybody who has been here with us. Kev, Alessandra, is there anything you want to share about, anything that's coming up that you want to share about?
Ladies first.
Well, I have been having a phenomenal time doing one-on-one mentorships, and I have an intense version, which is 3 months, and we meet twice a week on Zoom, and I channel audios. So you get Zoom support and audios, and then there's a less intense version where we meet once a month and it's one audio. And so far, it has been so wonderful. Talk about different people that are doing different things around the world in very, very specific ways. So what's been happening, and I'm lucky because I've had it for me. I have had different mentors that literally stepped into my life, and they saw me and they saw what I was doing, my specific brand of weird, where there was no other words to describe being a hybrid, being a fairy, being a dragon, being a consciousness engineer. So the people that have come to me, I feel like I'm able to see you in your specific brand of weird. And so I'm very excited because I have been working with spiritual activists, and I just like, come come find me. It's been amazing. So I'm just saying, I'm open. I'm doing that, mentorships. That's my thing right now. Thanks.
Beautiful. This is the little crystal that I was gifted on Alessandra's retreat. So if you ever want to go on an amazing retreat, she does them extremely well. They're beautiful, not just the gifts she gives you and the food, but all the activations and the wisdom and the knowledge, and as you can see, the channeling. So that's one thing I say I highly recommend this beautiful lady, this beautiful soul to you, having been on a couple of her retreats. So do check her out. For myself, dragon shamanism is the big thing, and we're just about to start the next cohort of people coming in, and which is beautiful. And one of the things that I've been listening to the people that are taking part. So we've got the people that love to be in a course for a year, and of course there's other people that can't do that. So the course is split into 3 different areas. So if you wanted to do the 3 different areas, you can. And we've also got some people that are in a time zone that doesn't work well with the times that the course is running. So I've now got 2 people signed up to do the course on replay, but have access to the group and all of that beautiful energy. So that's now an offer that to sort of really put out today. If you're interested in dragons, you're interested in learning healing of yourself or anyone else, then the website is www.dragon-shamanism.com, and you'll find all the details there. And if anyone wants to have a chat with me about it, you're more welcome. And if you're never contacted dragons, then there's meetyourdragons.com, which is a free course that I generated about 4 years ago, one of my first ones. And I think I've got a very big bushy beard in that one. So you're welcome to go on that and feel the energy of the dragons. So Denise, thank you for holding this space so beautifully as always, inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you both. It's always a pleasure. And if anyone wants to join me next Tuesday, the 21st, at 6:30 UK time, and there will be a replay to connect with the Lemurian Plasma Water Dragons. I'll put a link to that. It is on my Facebook page, a post about it with the link. And I will put a link in the comments here. Alessandra, where can people get hold of you, please?
I really do everything through my website. So alessandragilioli.com. You can email me from there. And I try to put as much info on there. There's also the YouTube channel with a lot of free stuff like our wonderful events here. So yeah, alessandragilioli.com.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's been with us. Yeah, reach out to any or all of us. And thank you both. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.